All right, we are recording. Happy Thursday, everybody. Nick here from Level Up Nutrition, along with Francine, also from Level Up Nutrition. And we're excited for our weekly wellness workshop where we share new topics every single week in the areas of nutrition, fitness, and mindset. And why those three topics is that our philosophy and what we've seen to be true is that 80% of results are based on your nutrition, 20% of your results are based on your fitness, but 100% is dependent on your mindset. Because if your mindset's off track, no matter how great your nutrition and fitness plan is, you're still not going to do it. So the mindset's really important. That's why we focus on all three as a way to fulfill on our mission. And if you don't know what our mission is to transform lives through great nutrition, an empowering community, and a healthy, active lifestyle. And we have our local community at the Nutrition Club, but then with calls like this and the various Facebook groups and different things that we've got going on, we also have our online community. So this call on Thursday night is an extension of our mission. It's also an extension of our community. And if you're watching the recording, we're really excited that you are a part of that. So thanks for being here with us and spending some time with us. And we're excited to deliver a lot of value for you. So tonight's theme, every week we have a new theme. Tonight's theme is setbacks. So we're going to be talking about how to plan for them, because setbacks are inevitable in anything in life, especially if you're taking on a new challenge, if you're playing a big game in whatever area of life is important to you. A setback is something that's naturally going to take place at some time. So how do you plan for them? And then also, how do you overcome them? When they do happen, what can we do to minimize the downtime and get right back on track, or maybe not even get off track and just adjust and course correct along the way? So we're going to do that in each of the different areas. And if you don't know my story, I've been a part of our team here in our community for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years this summer. When I first found Herbalife, I was at a healthy weight actually, but I didn't have the body composition that I wanted. And I was also looking for a way that I could help some people around my career in music, which has a really unpredictable schedule, and be able to make some extra income. And I saw that I could do both. So got on my nutrition program. I dropped 20 pounds of fat, put on 13 pounds of muscle, and took 6 inches off my waist. Felt amazing. Have been on the products ever since and following my program ever since. Excuse me. More recently, in the last, let's see, it's April now. So for about 9 months, I was intentionally gaining weight, put on 16 pounds, and stayed lean the entire time, which was awesome. And now I'm leaning out for summer. So if you want to gain weight, we can help. If you want to lose weight, we can help. If you want to maintain your weight and increase athletic performance, we can help. Typically, if somebody's having a couple of Formula One shakes a day, in combination with a healthy, active lifestyle and a balanced diet, that's like a weight loss plan. They can typically expect to lose a half a pound to a pound a week. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask us. We're here to help. And we share our stories so that you have an idea of what's possible, and hopefully it can inspire you for yourself or for somebody that you know that might want results similar to ours. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Francine. She's going to get us started here with the nutrition topic for the night. So Francine, take it away.
Awesome, Nick. Thank you very much. So yeah, welcome everybody. We're super excited to be here and in the community and working with you guys. And our topic tonight has a lot of different, different ways that it can go. Setbacks, like Nick was saying, they can happen to anybody. And they're just a part of life. It doesn't matter what aspect of our life that we're in, whether it's, weight loss, exercise, job, there's going to be setbacks. So when it comes to our nutrition plan, some of the things that I think of when I think of a setback is, okay, maybe we go on vacation. Is that going to be a setback for us? Maybe we have some unexpected guests show up at the house, and with summer coming, that's certainly something that I have heard from a lot of my clients is that, I just didn't know I was going out. So it's, they wind up someplace where they didn't plan for. Other setbacks, it could be even an illness. I mean, there's a lot of colds that go around. So, how do you come out of that? And then, not that there's a setback, but it can actually influence our life, and that's a pregnancy. So how do we maneuver when we're looking to be on our healthy, active lifestyle? Hi, great to have you on. So how do we plan for that, and how do we move forward? So one of the things that we have to take a look at is, regardless of what we're doing, there's always going to be ups and downs. When we take on something new, or even when we're anticipating, it's not new, and we're still in our journey, kind of like a vacation. If you're going on vacation, some of the things that you can do to plan, there's a couple of ways. Some people say, forget it, I'm done, I'm on vacation, I'm just going to go, I'm going to have a good time, and I'll worry about it when I get back. If that's your mindset for it, fine, no problem. Make sure that when you come back, though, you have a plan to get back on your nutrition plan, okay? And just know that for that time period, that there's going to be things that probably happen to your waistline, and your fingers are going to get a little puffy and all of that stuff from the good things that happen on vacation. But you can also plan during vacation, if this is the mindset that you're going in with, to have fun but still maintain part of your healthy active lifestyle. And that could be taking your shakes with you for like your breakfast, or even an easy snack, so that it's one of the things that becomes part of a constant, so that you're keeping your calories lower and you can enjoy your vacation. I know I do that at least for my breakfast when I go away. I take it with me, and I maintain also on my tablets. The other thing with some setbacks is unexpected guests that could arrive, and you wind up out at a restaurant that they're like, oh, let's go eat. Let's go out and have a good time. So with those types of things, it's just kind of knowing where you were for that day and taking a look at your menu and figuring out what it is that'll fit. And if it's one of those things where you've already had like your basic lunch and you haven't stuck to your meal plan, then just know that if you go out and you have what you want, that one time doesn't set you totally off track. It doesn't have to be something where it's this setback you can't recover from. You have to remember that not everyone's perfect, and we don't expect to be. So when you can go in with that mindset, it doesn't mean that an occasional slip up is something that's going to be a forever thing. It's what do we do and how do we get back on track once we've done that. So if you, for example, you take a meal that you weren't quite proud of, and you're like, oh, I've blown it, I might as well, I might as well just keep going. What's going through your head when something like that happens to you? Because at that particular turning point is when you can say, okay, that was then, and then the next moment can actually be your change. It doesn't have to be, okay, I've messed up, I might as well keep going for the day. No, okay, I had a larger meal than I should have. In the next moment, you can actually decide that you're going to make a different change. You're going to get back on your plan. You just want to it doesn't mean that you've messed up for good. And allow yourself to be human. I would die if I could never have another piece of pizza. I mean, that's like anybody who knows me knows that pizza is part of a staple of my life, and I plan it in. So now if I have too much pizza, which I've also been known to do, I have to make sure that I have a plan to get back on track. And sometimes for my quote unquote not so great meal, some of the things I'll incorporate out of my nutrition plan is I'll take a little more of my cellulose. That'll be something that, if I've had something really salty, a comeback from that is tons of water to flush me out, and then also my cellulose to make sure that I'm not holding on to all of that bad stuff that you could have had. The other one that goes along with pizza is my Thermobond. And that's something that it's in my purse. I keep it with me. And that's the anytime you have a hiccup kind of product. It's a tablet that helps to absorb the saturated fats that we eat and pass it through our system without us absorbing it in. It also helps to fill us up a little more so that hopefully we don't indulge in as much pizza. I find that for me, sometimes it doesn't slow me down that much. So at least it does its job to help with, the passing of the extra fats. But that's some of the ways that we can, work with those type of setbacks. But what you want to do is some of the things that when we're looking at a setback is don't have that all or nothing mentality. Okay. It's one of the things that, can really be a sabotage for our, our thinking. Also, when we're focusing on our weight loss or even on a weight gain or a maintenance, don't focus on the day. Focus more on the week. Okay. So it's what's going to come through for the week rather than it being, okay, today, oh my gosh, I had this meal. You step on the scale the next day and you go, ugh. Well, a lot of that's your sodium and the things that are, keeping all of those fluids in. So it's not a true weight at that point. You can't like instantly gain 5 pounds and have it stay with you from one bad meal. It's just, that's impossible. Now, if you continue with those, which is part of the, what do we do with a setback? You don't want to have a string of them because yes, then you can wind up with the weight that stays on. I already touched on, paying attention to sodium. That's one of my big pet peeves, especially when we go out to eat. Ask for your foods not to have the extra seasonings and things on it. I know that a lot of the steakhouses that we have around here, one of the ways that they make our food taste great is they add the extra salty seasonings on top. And if you can ask them to not season it that way and put like their buttery sauces and stuff on the side so that you have control. And also don't salt your food before you've tasted it yourself. Okay. That's like one of the biggest things to, not take your salt shaker and just go and, have at it. I don't know. I don't even know where the salt shaker is in my house at this point. So that's how little salt. There's so many ways to get the salt into your diet without actually adding more that I don't even know where ours is. So also with your setbacks and things, don't starve yourself the next day. If you've had a day where you've done something that you're not happy with, starvation will make it worse. It's not where you're going to be able to, you have to get a certain amount of calories for your body to do what it needs to do. And you have to get in the proper amount of nutrition, I should say, rather than the calories, because it's more the nutrition that we pack into the calories that makes the difference. So you can't starve yourself to make up for being off track. Okay. Couple other things is just make sure that you, avoid creating stress. Sometimes that can be easier said than done, but a lot of the times, we wind up having setbacks because we feel stressed out. And we're just going to comfort ourselves with some of our foods that we eat to make us feel better. If you come across an occasion like that, one of the things that I like to do is break out our bottle of Relax Now, which is a product that just helps to bring everything down a notch. So we don't have to go and calm ourselves with our foods. It's got some great herbs in it, which just help to naturally relax us without putting you to sleep. They're non-addictive, which is awesome. And it just makes it, for a nice way to be able to bring that down. And make sure you eat your regular meals. Now, I did not tell my story, so I'm going to do that quickly before I flip it back over to Nick. But on my weight loss journey, which started 13 years ago, I've taken off 25 pounds, and I've kept it off for the last 13 years. In the last 2 months, I've started a new journey, which is to create a better looking body and physique to go on vacation. So I'm working on reduction of fat, increase of muscle, and so far, so good. I'm down about another 2% in my body fat, and I can see that I am leaning out, but the scale's only moved like maybe 1.5 pounds. So it has not been about weight loss. It's been more about the fat loss. But I'm going to toss this back over to Nick and let him take over for our fitness part.
Sweet. Thank you, Francine, and congratulations on that progress. It's awesome. And that's such a big thing. I'm so glad that you shared that, because so many people that I work with and that we see in the club get so focused on the number on the scale, and they're not looking at what the number means or what the number is made up of, meaning body fat, water, muscle, right? So it's so cool that you've got that win. Congratulations. Excited to see the progress as you keep going with your plan there. And I'm going to get into fitness in a second, but just in response to some of what you shared, I was thinking about with setbacks, like the whole idea of something being a setback, to me, the way that that lands for me is like something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. And it's only that if it's like an unconscious thing when it comes to food choices, right? I mean, there are going to be things in life that happen that maybe your schedule's altered, or somebody did or didn't do something that was unexpected, or, natural occurrences that happen. But in terms of what you put in your mouth, right? Like nobody's feeding you unless you're a 2-year-old with a bottle. So it's a conscious choice, right? So this is something that really has made a difference for me over the years, because I really struggle with weight. I mean, I was never clinically diagnosed, but I bet I had some type of addiction, and I think I still have some type of addictive tendencies when it comes to food and the way that I act around it. But one thing that's really made a difference for me is that if I'm going to eat something that's off my plan, it's a conscious choice. I'm aware that I'm putting it in my mouth, and I'm making that choice as part of a bigger picture, knowing that I know how to finagle that and work that into my plan and the big picture. And one day doesn't make or break a year worth of results, right? Or a year worth of consistency. So really invite you, not you, Francine, but you on the line, to consider that, right? When you're looking at your nutrition, when you're looking at the way that you decide to follow your plan or not, if you're going to go off your plan, you might as well enjoy it. But if you're looking at it as something that's, I had this big setback and I'm such a fill in the blank negative word, right? Like, well, then it probably wasn't even worth eating the cake, because now you're making yourself wrong, which is even worse than what the payoff was of eating it. So just really look at that. Have some compassion for yourself. If you're going to do something that's not 100% on track with the plan, do it consciously. 80% of your action is going to make up more than 80% of your results as long as you stay consistent. So anyway, I felt like that was important to put in there. Getting on to fitness. Pearl, welcome back. Good to see you on the line there. Getting back to fitness. So one of the biggest things that can happen in fitness is, in terms of a setback, is an injury. And so I'm going to mostly talk about injuries tonight. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. So this isn't clinical advice. This is just some things that I found to be useful. So I know when I was a kid, stretching was a really big thing before working out. I remember in gym class, or even when I was on sports teams, we would sit there and we would do these static stretches, which is when you hold a position for an extended period of time, and the idea is loosen up the muscles and increase your flexibility or your range of motion. But what they've actually found now is that static stretching before exercise can actually lead to more injury, because it doesn't prepare your body to be under pressure. If you think about a static stretch, if you bend over and try to touch your toes, you hold that for 30 seconds. All you're doing is stretching the muscle. You're not preparing the legs to actually bear any kind of load or any kind of resistance. And so as you loosen it up and then you go and start running sprints, they found that actually can lead to more injury than if you didn't stretch at all. So what you do want to do before a workout is you want to prime your body with things that are going to increase mobility. So flexibility type motions. Things like leg swings or shoulder dislocates, something that I really love. You take a stick, like think of a broomstick or a mobility stick. You're going to start with your hands, palms facing you. I'll stand up. Palms facing you as if I have the stick here, and you're going to rotate all the way back and around. Really open up the shoulder. You can do wall circles with your shoulder on both sides. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to get your body moving. But what you don't want to do is hold any position. You want to do active stretches. So if you are going to stretch, like let's say I wanted to stretch my tricep, I might do this for 2 or 3 seconds and then switch to the other tricep 2 or 3 seconds. But you don't want to hold for more than a few seconds, because that's when it gets into that static stretch situation. And again, you actually open yourself up to more injury. The other thing to look at is you want to prime your workout based on what you're doing. So if it's leg day, don't spend a lot of time stretching your arms and your shoulders before your workout. Focus on your glutes. Focus on turning on the major muscles of your body. So things like body weight squats, things like leg bridges. When you're on the ground, you're lifting your butt up with your feet, driving it to the ground. Good mornings, unweighted. These are the kinds of things that's going to turn on your glutes, turn on your quads, so that when you put your body under a barbell, you're already getting your body primed for that motion. So you want to tailor your pre-workout to the actual workout that you're going to do. And then after the workout, that's when you want to do your static stretching. That's when you want to do your tension poses, where your things like upward dog or downward dog, where you're training your body to be able to have control in these extended ranges of motion. That's really important. Foam rolling also is something that you want to do after a workout to be able to relieve some of the tension that you just created. And also on your off days is when you want to do these types of things: static stretching, mobility work, foam rolling, tension poses. That might be different than what you've heard before, but I found that makes a big difference for me. And again, the newer things that are coming out, that's what people are finding. A couple other quick things. You want to make sure you're phasing your workout. We've talked about this on previous calls. If you keep doing the same workout over and over and over, not only does it become less effective, but you can start to wear your body down because you're asking it to do the same thing over and over and over again. So phasing your workouts to different, meaning like you might do heavier weights for a couple weeks and then lighter weights, higher reps for a couple of weeks, or entirely different types of training. That's actually better for you in terms of longevity. And then also don't train to failure. A lot of people talk about needing to train to failure, and even ask yourself, what does that mean? So whether it's running, whether it's bench press, whether it's push-ups, if you go until you literally can't do that anymore, your form, I promise you, broke down long before you stopped being able to move. So at some point along the way, the effectiveness of the workout that you're trying to do was lost. And now all you're doing is you're opening your body up to all sorts of other compensation to try to keep moving the weight or moving your body. That's not really in line with what you're trying to do, and that's when injuries happen. So recommendation is stop a rep or two short of failure. And when I say failure, what I mean is when you can no longer do what you're doing with perfect form. Okay, now if you're trying to do a Spartan race or finish a marathon, I get you're going to go past perfect form. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about longevity here and your day-to-day workouts. If you don't train to failure, you're going to be a lot less likely to injure yourself as long as you've got good form to begin with. And I guarantee you can get results because I've done it myself. And then last thing, in terms of some supplements, Francine mentioned some on the nutrition side. We do have some products that can support with things like inflammation or reducing inflammation, and with joint health and joint support. We literally have a product called Joint Support. It's got glucosamine in there, so it can help with your joints health and function. We have a product called Herbal Lifeline, which is our omega-3 fatty acid supplement, and omega-3s are shown to reduce inflammation in the body. They also have some benefits for keeping your cholesterol ranges in the healthy range, which is really awesome. And then we have a product from our sports nutrition line called Restore, which helps with, it helps combat inflammation. It also supports your immune system, which is taking a hit when you're under stress from your workouts. And it also reduces delayed onset muscle soreness, which is that feeling of tightness or pain after a workout. If you reduce that, you're going to have more functionality, more ability to move in your next workout. You're going to feel better, basically, and you're going to, again, prevent those setbacks. So I'll kick it back over to Francine to cover mindset tonight.
Okay, awesome. Great information, Nick. Yeah, I know for myself that when I go for my runs and everything, I actually do the walk before starting a run rather than doing any type of like a stretch to, warm up. And I find that that's good. And then do the stretching afterwards. And I do have to get a foam roller because they're wonderful when used properly. So, but yeah, so for mindset and setbacks. So, we talked a lot tonight about the things that we could do with your nutrition, and then also, your exercise. But what you don't want to do when you're looking at a setback is to, look at it as a failure. Because when your setbacks are actually a way to grow. If you can really take a look at the things that you've done, you just have to recognize that it's not a failure. Everything's going to have its up and down. And when you go for something and it's not the way you want it, you have to take a look at, what can I learn from this? It's how are you processing it in your mind, as compared to just letting it kind of take over everything that you're doing. When we take on our mindset for like our weight loss, this is something where for a lot of us, it's a totally new mindset. So we need to give ourselves credit for taking on just the fact that we want to change. And with that, it's going to be ups and downs. If you don't have the setbacks, number one, you're not growing, because if you were doing everything perfectly, then there wasn't much of a challenge in there to begin with. So that as we start to get, the challenges that can cause some setbacks. And I loved what you said, Nick, about, when you put something in your mouth, it's a choice. And that's what I try to tell all of our clients, is that when they're, nobody is force feeding you like a child, at least they shouldn't be, so that, you put it in your mouth, you made that decision, but know that you can take a look at what that means. And why, why did you do that? Was it because of a stressor? Was it because it was, I just wanted to have it? And just accept where that is, and know that that's not a problem. It's how we look at it. We can be our own worst enemies when we beat ourselves up in our head. And the one thing that you don't want to do is constantly have this negative self-talk about the things that we think we did wrong. And some of the best ways is when you catch yourself with that, oh my gosh, I screwed up. No, I made a choice. This was my choice. And now I can choose to change it again. I actually have, I want to share my screen here for a couple of nice, cute little things. So give me a second here. And so this is what we like to think success is. It's this straight line up, and this is what it looks like. Okay, we're just going to keep going. We're not going to have any setbacks. Nothing's going to happen. But what it really looks like is that nice squiggly line on the side where, it's up, it's down, it's all around. And know that that's okay. Embrace it, because the things that you can learn on those down squiggly lines about yourself are some of the most important things on how you're going to be able to take on life, and how you're going to be able to take on the things that, do give you a little bit of a challenge. So I really like that one. And then I came up with, I have another one here. Hang on. Whoops. Okay. Here. All right. And share. So obstacles are put in our way to see if what you want is really worth fighting for. And our mindset is, when you've decided on a goal that you want to go for, what's your why? What's your full pull towards why you want to do this? And, a lot of our obstacles are a way to test if this is what we really want. And every once in a while, we're going to fall down, we're going to skin our knees, and it's going to be okay. You don't have to, that's not a big deal. But just know that you can go, okay, I've learned from this. I am reprocessing. I am going to make different choices, or the choice that I made was okay today, and I'm all right with that. And don't give yourself a headache and beat yourself up, and then move on. And we also have, whoops. Okay. And then I love this one for, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. If we don't fail, if we don't have setbacks, we don't learn, and we can't get better. And our goal here is not to be perfect. With mindset, nobody's perfect, and you can't be perfect. The idea is to be 1% better than the day than the day before, in the things that are important to you. And part of it is also knowing what is important to you, and then making those choices. Because I know for myself, a lot of people try to direct your day and direct your life for the things that are important to them. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to live our own life and make our own choices and come up with our own things that make sense to us. So don't look at your setbacks as something that is going to cripple you. look at them as, how can it make me stronger? Really take a look and say, what does this mean? Why was the setback? You know, why did we go there? Was it because I said, okay, that piece of chocolate cake is somebody's birthday and I'm going to have a piece and that's great? And, or is it just, well, I gave up today? You know, really think about where your priority is. You know, if you're going for a certain goal, like I want to get to the beach and I want to look better, then the birthday cake is probably something that I'm going to have, if I have it, a really tiny little piece just to, you know, like celebrate with, rather than going, oh, I like the whole piece and do the whole thing. But I guess I really want to tell you guys, don't be super, super hard on yourself. Hard enough that you get to where you want to go, but that negative mindset, in my opinion, is one of the things that can be the most crippling. So don't beat yourself up. We are our own worst enemies 99.9% of the time. The things that we say in our head, people honestly would probably never, ever say to us, to our face, and mean it either. So give yourself some love. You know, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. I know that sounds weird, but it actually works. And, you know, give yourself some respect, and that can help with the setbacks. So I'm going to toss it back to you, Nick.
Awesome. Thank you, Francine. I love that. I love what you said about lining up your choices with your priorities and then really getting clear about what's important to you, because when you're clear about where you're going and why you're going there, the choices end up being a lot easier. So thank you for sharing that. I think we all get to have some more compassion for ourselves. It's part of, I don't know if it's part of the human condition or just my human condition to be rough on myself, but it's something that I've seen for a lot of other people too. And I know that when I'm the nicest to myself and inside of a commitment is when I get the best results, right? Not nice, like just, oh, I do whatever I want, let myself off the hook, but just recognizing that the success pathway looks like that squiggly line sometimes, a lot of the time, you know, and that as long as we stay focused and keep moving forward, that we will get there, you know, and a lot of other things that we talked about that lines up with that. But thank you for that section. We're going to wrap up the night here. Definitely want to respect everybody's time. So some quick action steps as we close out the weekly wellness workshop. First off, this is a completely free call that we do weekly to add value to our community and to be able to give back to the people that we're working with and to the people that we're not. So this is a call that's open for everybody. And what we ask, all we really ask, is that you share this. If you find value in it, share it with people that you care about so that we can keep growing this community and getting more people on the line. And if you're watching this call and you're anywhere near the South Jersey area, definitely come over to Level Up Nutrition for your first tea and shake if you haven't been to the club yet. Your first visit will be a half-off visit for your tea and your shake. So come and say hello. We'd love to see you. And then if you have been to the club yet, or if you haven't and you're not yet on a at-home program, we do offer coaching and support and at-home nutrition programs to help people reach their goals. And that includes your at-home supplements, so your shakes, your teas, your aloe, some of the supplements maybe that we talked about on the line tonight. But that also comes with your meal plan, your workout guide. It comes with your group support online so that you can stay plugged in no matter where it is that you are or when it is that you are, to make sure that you're getting your results. There's also opportunities to save money with a discount on your program as part of our preferred member program. So ask us about that. And then we also have our Summer Body Transformation Challenge, which launches a week from this Saturday on April 28th. And that includes everything that our normal clients get. On top of that, we're doing body fat testing, and we've got a 9-week support structure with daily workouts, a ton of energy, and cash prizes for the 2 winners, one in the best before and after photo category, and then one who's going to be the biggest loser based on percentage of body weight lost. So go to levelupnutrition.us/challenge for more information about that. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions about any of that. We'll definitely get you all the information that you need. So with that, we will see you next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. There'll also be some links posted in the notes here when we upload this video to YouTube. I'll post some video links that give some more information about pre and post workout, priming, stretching, things like that. And if Francine has anything to add to that, maybe some of those pictures, we'll get all that information to you so you have access to it. And we will see you soon. Thanks so much, everybody.
Good night.
Take care, Pearl. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paul.
Thanks for being on the line tonight.